This is a story that has been whispered in the paranormal community for over a decade. It's the account of a man named Sam, a legendary musician from South Asia with a massive following, but known to a select few as a highly gifted sensitive. Sam doesn't just look for ghosts, he feels them. He describes it as a physical weight, an oppressive static in the air that signals something other is present. In 2010, while Sam was touring the United States, he shared this chilling experience on a popular radio show. It wasn't just a campfire story. It was a professional investigation alongside the world-renowned TAPS Ghost Hunters, team. The setting was a massive, decaying insane asylum tucked away in the dense woods of Virginia. This wasn't your typical haunted house. It was a sprawling fortress of misery that had been abandoned for years. The walls were peeling. The air smelled of wet stone and old medicine, and the silence was heavy. When Sam and his friend, Tom, arrived, the ghost hunters were already there, setting up thousands of dollars worth of equipment. At first, Sam was unimpressed. As they walked through the first and second floors, Sam felt nothing. No chills, no pressure. He actually told the lead investigators that he thought the place was overrated. He felt like a tourist in a dusty building. But then they reached a specific room on the second floor. It had belonged to a patient named Lily, a 9-year-old girl who spent her final days trapped within those gray walls. The investigators decided to try a trigger test. They sat in a circle on the cold floor and placed a small ball in the center. Steve, one of the lead hunters, rolled the ball toward Sam. Halfway across the room, the laws of physics simply ceased to exist. The ball didn't just stop. It veered sharply to the right at a 90-degree angle. It circled back, rolled toward Sam, passed by 10 feet, and then, in a room with no draft and a perfectly level floor, it bounced twice on its own, as if a child had just picked it up and dropped it. Sam spent the next 10 minutes on his hands and knees, inspecting the floor for magnets or slopes. He found nothing. As the night deepened, the team moved to a long, dark corridor. They set up a laser grid which filled the hallway with thousands of tiny, glowing green dots. If anything moved through that space, it would break the grid. They placed 3 flashlights on the floor, including Sam's own heavy-duty torch. The team began to speak into the darkness, their voices echoing off the tiles. "We aren't here to disturb you. We just want to know you're here. If you can hear us, please turn on a light." A long, heavy silence followed. Then click, Sam's flashlight, his own device that had been sitting untouched, suddenly snapped on, casting a beam down the hallway. One by one, the other 2 flashlights followed suit. The investigators were ecstatic, but Sam was still puzzled. Despite the visual proof, his inner radar wasn't pinging. He felt like he was watching a show, but he wasn't part of it yet. That all changed when they climbed the stairs to the 4th floor. This was the maximum security wing. This was where the criminally insane were kept, men and women who had committed unspeakable acts. The air here was different. It was stagnant and smelled of copper. The moment Sam stepped onto the landing, his gift hit him like a physical blow. A sudden, crushing weight landed on his chest. His heart began to race, not from fear, but from the raw, negative energy radiating from the walls. As Sam and Tom walked down the long hallway, they saw something impossible. 20 feet ahead, a cluster of glowing green sparks, like supernatural fireflies, began to dance in the pitch-black air. They didn't look like reflections or dust. They were self-luminous. Sam and Tom charged toward the lights, with a cameraman sprinting behind them to catch the footage. But the moment they reached the spot, the lights vanished into the bricks. Then the silence was shattered. Clang, clang, clang. It was the sound of a heavy iron pipe being struck with a lead bar. It started at the far end of the hallway and began to move toward them. But it wasn't just a sound, it was moving with rhythm. It was the sound of someone or something sprinting at full speed. They could hear the heavy thud of feet hitting the floorboards, coming closer and closer. The sound rushed right past them, a gust of ice-cold air following in its wake. Tom gasped, clutching his shoulder, claiming he felt a freezing, phantom hand brush against him as the entity passed. The energy in the room became violently aggressive. It was no longer a game or an investigation. It felt like an intrusion into a space that didn't want them there. Sensing the danger, the TAP's leader gave command. Evacuate now. Move to the exit. Don't run. Just go. They retreated quickly, their breathing heavy in the dark. The moment they stepped out into the crisp Virginia night air, the pressure on Sam's chest evaporated. He was back in the world of the living. Before they left, the team showed Sam the audio recordings. Amidst the white noise, there were guttural whispers, voices that seemed to be arguing in the very room they had been standing in. As a token of their respect for his sixth sense, the ghost hunters gifted Sam a laser grid pen. Sam left that asylum with more than just a souvenir. He left with the realization that some shadows don't just stay in the dark. They wait for you to walk in so they can run right through you.